The air in our apartment used to hum with a quiet, comfortable energy. It was the sound of years spent together, of shared dreams woven into the fabric of our everyday lives. Mark and I had built something beautiful, brick by patient brick, with laughter, understanding, and an unwavering belief in forever. Our mornings were marked by the clinking of coffee cups and his gentle hum as he read the news. Our evenings were a sanctuary of shared meals, whispered jokes, and the easy comfort of two souls perfectly attuned. We talked about everything, from the mundane details of our day to the grand architecture of our future. Children, a small house with a garden, travels to far-off lands. All of it felt within reach, tangible, secured by the bedrock of our love. I loved him, truly and deeply, with every fiber of my being. Or so I thought. Then, imperceptibly at first, a subtle shift occurred. It wasn't a sudden crack, but a slow, almost imperceptible erosion. The comfort that had once been a blessing began to feel like a cage. The predictability, a source of peace, transformed into a monotonous drone. I found myself seeking something more, something undefined. A spark I felt had dimmed within me, or perhaps within us. Was it the natural progression of a long-term relationship, the settling of the dust after the initial blaze? Or was it something within me, a restless spirit craving novelty, a validation I wasn't receiving, or no longer capable of perceiving from Mark? I rationalized it away, telling myself that all relationships faced plateaus, that this was normal, a phase we would navigate together. But deep down, a seed of discontent had taken root, watered by my own insecurities and a growing sense of unfulfillment. It was during this time that Alex entered my life. A new colleague, bright, charismatic, full of an infectious energy that seemed to cut through the quiet hum of my existence like a sharp, exhilarating note. Our interactions began innocently enough. Shared projects at work led to extended lunch breaks, then to after-work drinks with the team. But gradually, the conversations with Alex started to feel different. He listened with an intensity that felt intoxicating. He asked questions about my aspirations, my hidden talents, my unspoken frustrations, with a curiosity that made me feel seen, truly seen, in a way I hadn't realized I was missing. He offered a fresh perspective, a mirror reflecting a version of myself I had almost forgotten, vibrant, ambitious, perhaps even a little daring. The attention was a balm to my fragile ego, a dangerous elixir that promised to awaken something dormant within me. The lines blurred almost without my conscious consent. A casual touch on the arm lingered a moment too long. A shared laugh stretched into a breathless gaze. The innocent flirting morphed into something more profound, more intimate, a silent language spoken between us that excluded everyone else, especially Mark. Guilt was a constant companion, a sharp pang in my stomach every time I returned home to Mark's loving embrace, every time he asked about my day, every time he spoke of our future. I would invent elaborate tales of deadlines, late meetings, impromptu team dinners, each lie a tiny chip at the foundation of our trust. I hated myself for it, for the deceit, for the cowardice, for the creeping realization that I was actively choosing to betray the man who loved me unconditionally. Yet, the thrill of the forbidden, the intoxicating novelty of Alex's attention, proved to be a stronger force than my conscience. It was a dangerous game, one where I was the main player, juggling my life with Mark and my secret life with Alex. always one step away from disaster. The exhilaration of the deception was as potent as the shame, a terrifying paradox that kept me trapped in its snare. One rainy Tuesday evening, after a particularly challenging week at work and a lingering sense of resentment towards an imagined distance from Mark, it happened. A work event, celebrating a project success. The alcohol flowed freely, the music was loud, and the atmosphere was electric. Alex was there, his eyes finding mine across the crowded room. A silent invitation. We talked, we laughed, we drank, the boundaries dissolving with each passing minute. The excuses for staying out late had already been prepared in my mind. A rehearsed script for Mark. Then, away from the prying eyes, in a dimly lit corner, his hand found mine. His touch sent a jolt through me, a mixture of fear and a desperate longing for escape. He leaned in, his breath warm against my ear, whispering something I could no longer recall, but the intent was unmistakable. And then, a kiss. A searing, all-consuming kiss that tasted of forbidden fruit, of regret, and of a profound, devastating betrayal. In that moment, the world narrowed to just him and me, and the crashing waves of my own making. The subsequent moments were a blur, a hasty retreat, a taxi ride home bathed in cold rain and even colder shame. The immediate aftermath was a haze of conflicting emotions, a profound sense of disgust with myself, a crushing wave of guilt that threatened to drown me. But beneath it, a dangerous flicker of exhilaration, a dark triumph that I had dared to cross a line, to experience something new, even if it was tainted. The lies continued, becoming more elaborate, more sophisticated. My phone became a secret keeper. Messages exchanged in hushed tones, hidden apps, deleted histories. Every time Mark looked at me, his eyes full of love and trust, I felt a fresh stab of agony. I was living a double life, a fractured existence, and the weight of the secret was slowly crushing me. I would find myself snapping at Mark for trivial things, projecting my own guilt onto him, creating distance to justify my actions. The irony was not lost on me. I was destroying the very connection I claimed to be missing, all in the pursuit of a fleeting illusion. Alex became a dangerous addiction, a temporary escape from the suffocating reality of my deception. Our stolen moments were brief, intense, and always followed by a crushing wave of self-loathing. I was trapped in a cycle, desperate to break free, but lacking the courage or the will. The inevitable discovery came, not with a bang, but with a quiet, sickening whisper. It was a Sunday morning, a rare day off for both of us. Mark was looking for a picture of our last vacation on my phone, scrolling through my gallery, probably to reminisce. I was in the kitchen, making breakfast, the smell of sizzling bacon filling the air. And then, silence. A profound, unnatural silence that felt heavier than any sound. I walked back into the living room, a smile on my face, a question forming on my lips. His back was to me, his shoulders hunched, his head bowed. He was holding my phone, his thumb hovering over the screen, and there it was. A casual selfie Alex had taken on my phone weeks ago, an innocent enough picture on its own, but unmistakably of him, and clearly not a work photo. It was tucked away in a folder, but he had found it. The look on his face when he slowly turned was a mosaic of emotions I will never forget. Confusion, then dawning horror, then gut-wrenching pain, all followed by a cold, searing anger that stripped the warmth from his eyes. His gaze felt like a physical blow, a judgment that shattered my fragile composure.
The world around me crumbled in that instant. The accusations came, not as shouts, but as broken whispers, each one tearing a new hole in my heart. Why? How long? Who is he? The questions were relentless, laced with a pain so raw it was unbearable.
I tried to explain, to apologize, to rationalize, but every word felt hollow. Every excuse, pathetic. There are no words to mend a heart so profoundly broken, no justification for a betrayal so complete. The arguments raged, then subsided into a chilling silence, punctuated by his choked sobs. My own tears flowing freely, not just from remorse, but from the agonizing realization of what I had done, what I had destroyed. The carefully constructed life we had built together, the dreams we had shared, the trust that had bound us, all lay in ruins at my feet. The pain in his eyes was a mirror reflecting the ugliness of my actions, a devastating testament to the irreparable damage I had inflicted. He left. Not with a dramatic exit, but with a quiet, heartbreaking finality. He packed a bag, his movements slow, deliberate, each item placed carefully, as if handling fragile glass. His voice, when he finally spoke, was devoid of emotion, a monotone that cut deeper than any scream.
He said he couldn't look at me anymore, couldn't live with the knowledge, couldn't rebuild what I had so carelessly shattered. And then he was gone. The apartment, once filled with our shared life, became an echo chamber of my regret. The silence he left behind was deafening, a constant reminder of his absence, of my terrible choices. The comfortable rhythm of our lives was replaced by a jarring cacophony of loneliness and self-recrimination. The dreams we had whispered into the dark now mocked me from every corner of the empty rooms. In the agonizing aftermath, I was forced to confront the wreckage of my own making. I had chased a fleeting excitement, a superficial validation, and in doing so, I had sacrificed a profound, genuine connection, a love that was true and steadfast. I had believed the grass was greener, only to find it was just different dirt. And I had destroyed my own flourishing garden in the process of seeking it. The thrill I had found with Alex quickly faded, leaving behind only emptiness and a searing sense of shame. He was a temporary diversion, not a solution, and the cost of that diversion was immeasurable. I lost not just Mark, but a vital part of myself, the trustworthy, loyal person I had once believed myself to be. The identity I had carefully constructed over years, the integrity I prided myself on, lay in tatters. The healing process has been slow, arduous, and punctuated by waves of grief and overwhelming regret. I have spent countless hours replaying every moment, dissecting every choice, searching for an answer to the fundamental question: why? Why did I risk everything for so little? The answer, I've come to realize, lies within me, in a deep-seated insecurity, a fear of stagnation, a misguided search for external validation. It's a bitter pill to swallow, to admit that my own failings, my own weaknesses, were the architects of my downfall. I have learned to be alone, to face the silence, to slowly, painstakingly rebuild a life devoid of deception. I carry the scars of my actions, a permanent reminder of the destructive power of infidelity. I am learning to forgive myself, day by excruciating day, understanding that true forgiveness will only come through genuine change and a commitment to never inflict such pain again. I hope, one day, to be worthy of love again, a love built on honesty, respect, and unwavering trust. But the ghost of what I lost, of the beautiful future I threw away, will forever haunt the quiet corners of my soul, a testament to the profound and irreversible damage of a moment's selfish desire. The price of betrayal is steep, paid not just by the broken heart of the deceived, but by the shattered soul of the deceiver, forced to live with the indelible stain of their own choices.